finest necklaces in England.
Welcome back to another episode. We're in the middle of a cutscene.
The aquarium is just beneath the chandelier. I understand.
The little monkey had likely hung the necklace around its neck and lost it when he leapt from the chandelier. The jewels fell into the aquarium, where they remain now. Marquis, here is your necklace, intact, just a little wet.
Mr. Holmes, this brilliant demonstration does credit to your reputation.
Thank you so much, Marquis. Do you wish to verify the authenticity of your jewel?
No, I recognize it. I have spent many hours admiring it, you know.
Good. I will return it to its box, and...
Inspector, a bank has just been held up. You must follow me at once. Orders of Scotland Yard.
What times?
Sirs, duty calls. My regards, Marquis. And well done again, Mr. Holmes.
Well
there,
done indeed.
The necklace is in its box. We've lost enough time here. Let's go home, Watson.
Ah, very well, as you wish. A good day to you, Marquis.
With pleasure, gentlemen. And once again, thank you.
No problem.
This morning's newspaper. Holmes, have you read this article about you?
No, Watson, not yet, and I won't have time to.
Read it before you leave. It's outrageous.
If you insist.
Outrageous.
Read the paper, Holmes.
I'm trying to. Globe Explorer. Sherlock Holmes at the home of Marquess of Conyngham. Ugh. The investigation is a fiasco. Yesterday, the celebrated detective Sherlock Holmes was invited to the manor of the Marquess of Conyngham to supply his conclusions following his investigation to the disappearance of the Princess Samoan necklace. It should be recalled that the lady called in the detective after the police appeared flummoxed in the face of the astonishing circumstances surrounding the theft. Indeed, the valuable piece of jewelry disappeared while the door to the room in which it was displayed was locked. The alarm was raised by the servants, alerted by the room service bell ringing out during the night. When the Marquis... Oh man, I'm bad with pronunciation. The only person in the possession of the key opened the door. Everyone rushed in to extinguish a fire that had started before it was noticed that the necklace had mysteriously vanished. The most astonishing factor is that no thief was found within the room and all the exits were closed. As usual, Mr. Holmes resolved the case in the twinkling of an eye and the jewel was recovered. I will not waste my time on the various explanations as to the disappearance because I would prefer to draw your attention, dear readers, to the last surprising developments in the case. Following the departure of Sherlock Holmes, who placed the necklace in the safe himself, the M noticed that the jewel was nothing but a poor copy of the original. Let it not be forgotten that the Samoan necklace, although plain and without ornament, is unique because of the rarity of its pearls. Pearls which are found only in a small part of the lagoon of the archipelago of the same name, and to which scientists attribute their exceptional quality to the strong density of crystal of aragonite that they are made of. The priceless necklace, brought here at the beginning of the century of Lord Fenton Arwick, the M's grandfather and an eminent explorer, should have been part of her daughter's dowry for her marriage to the Duke of Newcastle. So I am going to place a simple question. Should we not, in all open-mindedness, ask ourselves if the necklace was not simply and deliberately exchanged for fake by Mr. Holmes himself? I am aware, dear readers, that the brutality of this question without any preconceptions may certainly shock some of you. But the facts are there, and our thoughts and judgments should not be confused with the regard which we all share for the famous detective. It is not the first time that the Globe Explorer has expressed its reservations as to Sherlock Holmes' methods. Do not forget our counter-investigation to the escape of Arsène Lupin, the Frenchman who took malign pleasure in tarnishing the image of our royal family, and who by lucky chance managed to elude capture by Mr. Holmes. Oh my God! At the time, we did not hesitate to consider a tacit complicity with on the latter part of the For those who are familiar with Mr. Holmes, it is quite apparent that his character traits show more of the opportunist and brilliant usurper than that of the altruistic defender of the law. I would draw the attention of our reader to the suggestion that the description of this gentleman provided by his friend, Dr. John Watson, through his stories is a long way from the truth. Indeed, his behavior is derisive, contemptuous, haughty, and offensive towards the police, and in particular towards Inspector Baines, replacing Inspector Lestrade, who is currently convalescent, and an habitual abuser of narcotics such as heroin and cocaine. This is why, dear readers, it is important to disregard Sherlock Holmes' good reputation in order to form an objective opinion and to ask the pertinent questions. Was the necklace that Holmes found already a fake? If that was the case, why did he not mention it, and why should he insist on placing it back in the safe himself? Has the detective some unsavory interest in this affair, or is it a simple case of deceit in order to steal the extraordinary Samoan necklace? It is up to you, dear readers, to form your own opinions, but you can count upon your humble servant to continue revealing to the public the doubtful methods and motivations of one who in the future. I should not hesitate to call Sherlock Holmes the usurper. To be continued, O Farley. I am not going to read the rest.
Prince
My
Woodville,
God.
French culinary expert and bagpipe player, might be our next king. That's not so shocking, my dear fellow.
You know exactly to which article I'm referring, Holmes. How can Farley dare to tarnish your reputation like that?
You know, Watson, that wherever glory walks, jealousy is bound to follow. As for the forgery of the necklace, I suspect that we shall soon be enlightened in this regard. Come in, Inspector Baines, the door's open.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. How did you know I was here?
You are one of our rare visitors
I
who
can smell
avoids
you.
the second-to-last step of the stairs, which creaks dreadfully. And if I add the clinking of the handcuffs at your belt, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, Inspector?
Have you read that rag?
Indeed, the necklace.
Inspector, I assume that you have the fake necklace with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
Indeed. They would like you to confirm or deny putting this fake in the box.
Can't that wait? I must go to the house of Lord Peregrine Maitland, the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
Ah, let's talk about the slander.
Inspector, can you explain this slander? Has the necklace of the Samoas really been replaced by a fake?
I don't know how the reporter got hold of the information, but it's true. About the necklace, of course. I wouldn't permit myself to question the integrity and honesty of Mr. Holmes.
The necklace is a forgery? Impossible! I saw the Marquis authenticated before my very eyes, before Holmes returned it to its place.
Mr. Holmes, the Marquis believes Osmond Farley's theory. I shouldn't be surprised if the reporter isn't behind all this slander about you. He's a freelancer, well known for his explosive and subjective articles. In any case, the Marquis assures us that you were the last person to have the necklace in your hands.
Let's return to the Marquis's house, Holmes. I'm sure that we'll have no trouble in taking apart this theory.
It is unnecessary. Such allegations collapse on their own, like one of Mrs. Hudson's soufflés. Let us leave the police to solve this problem and turn our attention to the matters in hand.
Oh, what
Perhaps
wit!
you're right, Holmes.
And the Marchioness?
She is beside herself. Without the necklace, her marriage is compromised. It is the principal item of the young woman's dowry.
What a lovely marriage. Holmes, forgive me for insisting, but don't you want to examine the fake jewelry?
Watson, I have an appointment, and it's out of the question that I arrive late.
It will only take you a couple of minutes. You really must quell the suspicions put forward in this appalling article. If you will allow me, Inspector?
Be my guest.
Very well.
All right. A lot of cutscenes, which is always a good thing. But when you're recording, it's a bit of a pain to try and section these up, especially when I'm reading long articles. Are those bullet holes? Let's see. Let's talk to the inspector.
What do you think, Holmes?
What do I think? Down, down, up. There we go. Find out if the necklace is authentic. Okay. Can I get my magnifying glass? No. Okay, let's see. Rotate. Hello.
These 3 pearls are of poor quality.
And this one?
This pearl is a different color.
Really? Wait, how do I rotate? Oh, cool.
This pearl is too small. It is not in its place here. Too many defects. This necklace is a fake. This is nothing but a vulgar copy, and at a glance it would appear that the forger has intended for it to be seen as such.
How could we have been fooled by such a blatant imitation? I don't understand.
Yes, how is it possible? Holmes, do you have a theory about this?
I have absolutely no idea. You insisted that I examine the necklace, and I have done so. Now it is important that I keep my appointment. I'm sure, Inspector, that you will throw some light on this affair.
Holmes.
You may accompany me, Watson, if you care to do so.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'll keep you informed as to my inquiries.
Goodbye, Inspector. You mentioned a bishop, didn't you? Are we going to his home?
Yes, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. I put his address on our map of London on my desk. Would you get it for me, please?
All right, Holmes.
Good boy. Ooh, I can control multiple people. On his desk. This is probably not here, but I might as well look around.
The work table, where Holmes analyzes things.
Of course, as long as you have a magnifying glass.
Holmes's homemade analyzer.
Toby! I forgot about Toby. Where is Toby? That little rascal. So I can't examine. Yeah, he doesn't have any cool senses. Lame.
I have found your map.
Ah, the good times.
The police? Already? How did you know?
May we see the Bishop of Knightsbridge?
Yes. Yes, of course. But come in.
Murder? Murder most foul.
What has happened, Reverend?
What?
I don't know. It was last night, I think. I only just arrived, and I have made this macabre discovery. My God. How horrible. I haven't called anyone. How did you know that?
Holmes!
Knew it.
The Bishop, appallingly mutilated.
How dreadful.
Mutilated. And killed. He was such a good man. How could anyone be so brutal? Look at him. He is barely recognizable now. How could any of God's children be responsible for that?
They were evidently unworthy children, Reverend. Now do please try to calm yourself and focus, because we will need your assistance. Do you have any idea as to the motive behind this?
I haven't had time to do an inventory, but nothing appears to have been stolen. And anyway, His Excellency didn't own anything of great value. I don't know what else I can tell you.
Note this down, please, Doctor.
Doctor? But you aren't the police?
No, Reverend. I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson. We are here at the request of the Bishop.
In that case, I must ask you to leave, and not to touch anything. I must get in touch with the authorities without further delay.
Reverend, when the inspectors of Scotland Yard find themselves at a dead end, which they quite often do, I assure you, then they turn to me for help. If you will allow us to continue our investigation, then you shall have the answers to all of your questions.
Out of the question! I don't even know you! I'm going to call the police, whether you like it or not.
It would be better for everyone, Reverend, if you kept your temper. Watson, are you taking notes? This affair promises to be a complex one. Therefore, we must not overlook the slightest detail.
Yes, Holmes. I am keeping a meticulous set of notes. I have created a very clever deduction board. One thing we can be sure of at the moment is that this crime was not for gain. The Reverend has informed us that nothing valuable was stolen, and indeed, it would seem that the Bishop had nothing of any worth to take.
Very good, Watson. Do continue.
Yes, do. How does he not know who I am? Make the right deductions based on the facts you have. Oh, the Bishop didn't own anything of value, not even in his safe. Okay, so that's a cool log. We got a nice log here for everything we say. My knife and my matches. A medal, elementary. It seems you share my love of all that is bizarre. You recovered the Samoan necklace. Well done. Well, guys, before I start my investigation, I'm reaching the end of my time limit for my video, so I'll have to resume this tomorrow. Hopefully, you guys, if you're interested and you're watching, stay tuned tomorrow. I'll have another episode out. See you guys.